Hello everyone, been away for some time. Just want to thank you for clicking onto this video, and I just ask you to please subscribe. I need to get to 10,000 subscribers. I'm honest about this, and I need to get to 10,000 subscribers. I believe the biggest thing that's holding us back as Africans is working together. And I'm not gonna be shy. Get me to $10,000 subscribers, and I tell you what, this is gonna be the most action-oriented channel you're ever gonna see. We're gonna work together, and I'm gonna be asking everyone to be part of it. You know, physically for those that can, financially for those that can or can't come, can't help physically. You know, I'm just gonna be very honest. This is what we want. We want projects that can generate income. So if you're putting $2 into something, within 3 years, within whatever years, it makes it $4. But in that same process, I'm able to help Africans. I don't believe in donations, you know. But that's a story for another day. What I'm saying is, please share these videos. Get me to 10,000 subscribers. And I have to say, I have some really good followers that have been with me from the beginning. You know, I haven't asked them, so I can't mention their names. I just want to thank you guys. But also, I want to say some of the subscribers that this is a new channel. You can see I don't even have 1,000 subscribers yet, but I'm moving pretty fast. I'm adding some good numbers almost every week. And I like it when people criticize me. One guy criticized me for wearing a t-shirt. So he said, you know, and he said, he didn't criticize, it's a constructive criticism, and I love that. He says, you know what, put on a nice shirt and find like proper background instead of maybe sitting in the car and all that stuff. Another guy told me to look in the camera, you know, and I'm trying to look in the camera right now, but it's like I'm so used to looking on the screen. But I like that, and I'm trying to improve. That's me. You know, and some of the criticism is not criticism, it's just trolling. So I don't give two cents about that. But for a constructive criticism, I take it on board. And eventually, I'm working on something where we can actually sit in a room. It's just most of the time I don't have time. You know, I got kids, and sometimes I'm at work, and home kids cry. I got almost like a brand new baby. 4 months old now. So it's just, it's like sometimes when I find time, so you see me most of the time sitting in the car. You know, sometimes I've just dropped off my kids at their ballet classes, and I'll be sitting and then I thought, you know, let me make a video while I wait for them. So that's why sometimes you see these things. However, I'm going towards that where I can try to dedicate, because it's not easy to make these videos. And also I'm not trying to just talk out of nowhere with a lot of things. I have to read a lot. You know, I gotta do a lot of research. So when I present it to you, especially that series about African history, because even the thing I'm about to talk about now, it tells me how important for people to learn African history. You know, so this video, I'm gonna talk about a video I just watched on Diaspora Network Television. I think it's run by a Ghanaian guy called Jermaine Nkrumah. I don't think he's related to Kwame Nkrumah, because he did interview Kwame Nkrumah's daughter. They have the same last name, but I think Nkrumah means it's about see, Kwame Nkrumah. One of them means the day you were born in Ghana, because you know, if you're born on a certain day, they give you a name like that. It's just great. I love it. I really do. It's just so African. You know, it's not about Williamson and Thompson and all these crazy names. It's just, yeah, you're born on Tuesday. Okay, your name is Kobe. Hey, Kobe Bryant. You know, it's just, it's very African, and I love it. I love it. But it was, and this guy interviewed this lady, very intelligent, very beautiful, a black woman by the name of Mary Acquah. There's a few names in the middle, but I remember the first and the last name. And she's the mother, one of the parents. The parents, I don't know. I think the father is from Ghana and the mother is from Rwanda. She's a Tutsi. But no. Let me take that back. She's Rwandese. We don't use that tribalism kind, and I'm not trying to promote that. You're Rwandese. Just like if you're Ghanaian, let's say you're Ghanaian first, and that's what we should focus on. You know, because people like to go into this tribal crap. I'm not into that, so I'm taking that back. She's Rwandese, and then I think they lived in Italy. But the lady's been educated. She went to a South African school, and so like university or something. So she's been educated in South Africa as well. But there's just a few things they talked about that I don't agree with. I completely disagree with. You know, and I like Jermaine. Jermaine Nkrumah has got some really good ideas on a lot of things. But on this one, I think, in my view, he was wrong. You know, because this woman, she's from Rwanda. One of her parents are from Rwanda. She's lived in Rwanda. She didn't have very good things to say about Kagame, about the Rwandese government. But here's the thing. People say, oh, you know, the glitter, and the way Jermaine started the video, you can tell from the get-go was criticizing the government. He was trying to say, and they were trying to compare whether Rwanda was doing better than Ghana, and you know, or Rwanda or Ghana was doing better than South Africa. Trying to compare three countries, right? First of all, we shouldn't be comparing, because when we start comparing, it becomes a problem. Let's not compare. Let's learn from each other. You know, let's not go there. Oh, this country is doing this. This country is doing. This country is doing this. But there are certain things I want to talk about. First of all, it's this thing people like to say, and I've heard this so many times. How people criticize Kagame is this, the government is that, and he's ruthless. He's a dictator. It's so bogus. You know, I know a lot of African countries in Africa right now who have demon crazy. I don't believe in that democracy. I don't think it's African, and that's why and that is what is holding us back. It's this belief in this democracy. And if you've noticed, this belief of believing in is being imposed on us, and it gets controlled. It's not controlled by Africans. It's controlled by people outside Africa. I know there's some crazy African leaders that want to stay in power forever, and they shouldn't. You know, but those people have been put in that power through the so-called demon crazy, you know, by people outside of Africa introducing this concept of the so-called democracy, you know, and they think it's better for us, you know. Well, China is doing just fine. China is now competing for world domination. It's not democracy. Okay, I just want to put it out there. Okay, and I strongly believe that this idea of even like terms, oh, you should only stay in power for so long. Now, if the people want you, you should be able to stay in power as long as the people keep voting for you. I don't know when Angela Merkel became leader of Germany, but hey, this woman has been at least 20 years. I think I've been hearing this woman's name. 20 years. No one complains about it. No one says, oh, that's not demon crazy, you know, or whatever you guys call it, democracy. No one says anything about it, you know. Some people, some leaders, even in Australia, there was a minister there, the prime minister there, that was the prime minister for almost 15 years. As long as people, until people voted him out. As long as people are voting for a person, I believe, because sometimes leaders, it's very hard to find a very good leader. Let me just put it that way. You know, Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore ruled for 30-something years. Look where Singapore is. No one else would have done a better job than him. If anything, in the history of the world, is the greatest nation builder. Okay? Sometimes, when you have a great leader, stick with them. You know, and then when you don't have a good leader, oh, maybe get rid of them. But I have to say, some of these leaders have done a really nice job, and some of them have people at heart. I'll give, for example, Museveni. Museveni, I support him. You know, because I'm not really this demon crazy person over this or democracy. But Museveni, if you look at Uganda before Museveni, it was coup after coup after coup after. There was no stability until Museveni comes in and the country has been stable. And he's done so much for his people. You know, there are certain things, especially for people that have been brainwashed and they think this demon crazy is the right way to go. There are certain things I think he could do better, but believe me, America has had now 45 presidents, and out of those 45, you can only count about maybe 10. That's even an extensive, are the leaders that have made America what it is today. You know, leaders, good leaders are hard to find. Let me just put it that way. Now, let me go back to Kagame. This is why I personally support Kagame 100%. You know, I'm originally from Zambia. I spend a lot of time in Zambia, but I travel across Africa. But one place I would like to live in right now, Rwanda. 100%. For African Americans, if you want to go to a country where the president got your back, there's 2 countries in Africa I recommend you to. Rwanda and Tanzania. Magufuli in Tanzania, Paul Kagame in Rwanda. These are the only people that stand up. These are the only true leaders in Africa. Akufo-Addo, I like. It's also good. There's a lot of good things he's done in Ghana. You know, so Ghana, yeah, that would be one of them. He also stands up. He also stands up to the bullies that like to these nations around the world that like to bully us. He stands up for his people. You know, but Paul Kagame, and I challenge anyone. You listen to these guys. You go there on YouTube and watch his videos, and just listen. And I can talk about Paul Kagame till sunset. You know, you listen to. He's the one who challenged. There's a story, and this is true. You know, he had a meeting. He's even called Trump a racist. You know, he had a meeting with Trump at the White House, and they were talking. And the you know how in Africa, you know, for those in America, you know, the clothes that you throw away, you know, I don't know who collects it, whether it's the Salvation Army or whatever. Those things end up in Africa. It's big business in Africa, right? Employs a few people, you know, they mainly foreigners bring it in, and locals buy them. They call them bales, big bales, and then they sell second-hand clothes to people. Sometimes it's so bad they even sell second-hand undies, panties, some. You just imagine, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So Kagame doesn't want that anymore. What he wanted was for Rwanda to be producing clothes, to selling out so they can sell outside, but also sell locally, brand new, so people can wear brand new clothes, not used clothes. You know, so they have this conversation with Trump, and Trump tells Kagame, say, you know, if you don't accept us bringing in, because it's a big business in America, I think it's $3 billion or so, you know, selling used clothes to you, then we're gonna put tariffs on your goods, like coffee, which is Rwanda's biggest export. Kagame goes, okay, cool, no worries. He goes back to Rwanda. He didn't kneel to Mr. Trump. He didn't, or to the current president of the US. I don't like to mention names. But you know what he did? He called China. He called Jack Ma. Jack Ma said, yeah, well, I'll put you on Alibaba. There's a special section of Alibaba. You know, coffee sold out on Alibaba. Rwandese coffee sold out. You know, they were selling so much they didn't need America. The tourists, because China right now is everyone is trying to every country is trying to advertise in China, from Greece to America to Australia. They're trying to advertise in China to get some of the Chinese good tourism industry. You know, Kagame, now they're having an influx of Chinese tourists going to Rwanda. You know, and I can go on and on so many things, right? First of all, after the genocide, Kagame was not the president. Someone else was. You know, Kagame only became president afterwards. But even during that period, he was like a minister of something. He was still in government, but he wasn't the president. And he talks about, and he tells you how his thinking is different. And this is why most Africans don't like Paul Kagame, because he's not your typical African leader. Because we've set our bar so low. We like countries where there's no law and order, because we've accepted that is African, which is a lie. You know, and I'm gonna make a video about this. A Portuguese trader, his first visit to Benin City. You can even Google this. You know, there's among other things, one of the things that surprised him was the security. So the security here is just, I've never seen anything like it anywhere in the world. People feel so secure, they even sleep without doors on their houses, and they don't worry about no one robs, no one steals. This was in 1448. That was the African way. All these robbing, murdering and killing each other and gangster, that's all foreign. It's not us, okay? It's not us. But these days we've accepted that sort of lifestyle. That's why you have all these wars surrounding homes with, like, barbed wires or electric fences. Now, because we accepted all these foreign way of doing things, before it was more community based. We helped each other. It's not like that anymore, But this is where Kagame is different, because even then he failed to understand. Listen to some of the things he said. So I failed to understand why I needed somebody else to take my children to school. I want to take my children to school. So I'll take my kids and I'll tell my security guard, say, you also need to take your kids to school. And when they were driving on the road, he would tell his driver in a lot of situations, instances, to stop. And Kagame will get out of the car to go and pick up dirt. This is before he was even president. This is how you have to look at a man, to go and pick up plastics and all those things, dirt. And he will encourage his bodyguards and his drivers to do the same. He never forced them. He just said, I don't understand. But if we don't look after our environment, then we live in this dirty place. We need things to be clean. Cleanliness was an African phenomenon. We've forgotten about it. The houses are clean in Africa. Don't get me wrong. But people don't care about the streets, because that now has become, it's the government. It's not us, it's the government. It does not work like that. It doesn't work like that. Okay? Now, going back to Jarmaine, Nkrumah and Mary Acquah talking about how Ghana was doing better than Rwanda. First of all, I don't think Ghana is doing better than Rwanda. The fact that you are even trying to compare Ghana to Rwanda, to me tells me Rwanda is doing a lot better than Ghana. And I'm not trying to compare you, but I'm going to give you the reason why I strongly believe people should look up to Rwanda and copy what they're doing. We should be able to share what works in Rwanda will work when it comes to cleanliness. All Africans, I don't care where you live, whether you are from Ghana, from the southernmost port, Durban, or Port Elizabeth in South Africa, or Tunis, or Libya, Tripoli, we want to see cleanliness. We just want to see cleanliness. I've seen a lot of videos, YouTubers in Ghana complaining about dirt, especially in the rainwater. The rivers are the drainage systems are clogged up with plastic bags and plastic bottles everywhere. That is dirt. Kagame has put a stop to that. Kagame has put a stop to that. You go to Rwanda, you're not gonna find one bottle. Not only that is setting a trend, the world now is trying to copy what Kagame is doing. Okay? So what Nkrumah said, even sometimes you look at the glitter, but you don't know what's under the surface. There's nothing bad under the surface in Rwanda. Here's the thing. Rwanda is not like Ghana. Rwanda is not like Zambia. Rwanda is not like Uganda. Okay? Rwanda has 3 main tribes. And I didn't want to go into this, but I gotta tell you, when you have more tribes in a country, it's very easy to sort of dilute tribalism. Tribalism happens. It's not as big as people try to make it, but it's just a sort of competition that sometimes that gets out of control. And presidents only are coming from one tribe for a long period of time. That becomes a problem. Or the ministers or that, they're only coming from one tribe. That becomes a problem. Okay? And what Rwanda, because of this only limited number of tribes, it's prone to suffer from tribalism. Okay? That's one thing. But then when you go back, this is a country that has just come out of like a very bad part of their history, which was the genocide, where nearly 1 million people got killed within a period of, I think, was just a couple months. So what do you want to do if you want to stop that? How was that happened? How that happened was actually because of a radio station. Just a radio station spreading so much hate managed to cause that. There was already tensions, but one radio station in particular was the most crucial part to be spreading that hate and to feed hate. And I tell you, and some of you can say, a radio station. Remember, Joseph Goebbels, the guy, the propagandist in the Nazi regime, used the same thing, radio, television, to incite hatred against the Jews. So these things work. They were invented for good purposes, but at the same time, they can be a weapon for destruction. So if I was president of Rwanda, not even Kagame, I'll restrict that. I'll put so much restriction on television. Stuff free speech, free communication. Stuff that. You know, there was free speech and free communication before the genocide. Look what happened. Because Africans, we forget. We forget quickly. And also, we forget about good leaders when they are alive. Even Patrice Lumumba, there were black people that were involved in his killing. Today we talk about, oh, Patrice Lumumba got killed by this. Yeah, but I bet you what, there were some black people that facilitated his killing. And we do the same thing even to Paul Kagame, where everyone just says about, oh, there's no free speech. There's no free speech. Well, there was free speech before. And look what happened. 1 million people died. Do you want that to be repeated? Hell to the no. You know? So sometimes we have to think about this. You know, not only is Rwanda, not just Kigali, the whole place. I mean, you have to go there. You have to go there. The whole place is clean. Now, it is made that clean because he decided it was a priority. And also, Rwanda is probably one of the poorest countries in Africa. Their economy is only $10 billion. You know, but it's growing. Last year, they did 12%. That's unheard of. Ghana is also doing amazing. Okay? I think Ghana did about, I don't know, whether between 6 and 9%. Okay? So Ghana is also doing amazing. All right? But the thing is, Ghana has more natural resources than Rwanda. Ghana got gold. That's why it's called the Gold Coast, because of so much gold. I think they've even overtaken South Africa now as the largest producer of gold. The only thing is, we need to find out whether Ghana, the government is even collecting the money they're supposed to collect. Because what there was a paper that came out, Africa gets $8 billion in aid, we are losing now $100 billion. So, and we gotta ask questions. Because I've seen some rich people I met in Australia who deal in gold, and they mainly in Ghana. These guys are rich. They're living large. You know, it made me question myself. So why do we leave Africa when all these people are trying to go to Africa to become rich? You know? So we gotta start asking. We gotta find out whether these companies that are extracting gold out of Ghana are paying the right taxes, which, in my opinion, they might not even be. Because what Amaya a couple of years ago went to Ghana, and he sort of exposed some of the illegal miners there. So that's, if you're doing illegal mining, you ain't paying taxes. You can't do that in Rwanda. And this is the thing. So illegal mining in most African countries, it's become a norm. Oh, yeah, it's the African way. Because we've accepted our bar is so low. You can't do that in Rwanda. You can't. There's no illegal mining happening in Rwanda. Okay? And that has only been achieved because of organization that Kagame has put up. He's even said it himself many times. Most of the time, he failed to understand most of the African leaders. He found other leaders more up on his way of thinking, you know, and you can see why Rwanda is doing so well. You know, the same thing, Jarmaine Nkrumah talked about how he was trying to put it as if Rwanda is trying to be all clean for foreigners. You know, here's the thing. Rwanda is not a rich country, like I said. It's one of the poorest countries in Africa. You know, the fact that we're actually comparing to Ghana is amazing. You know, but here's the other thing you have to realize. Most countries in this world make money from tourism. Okay? Make money from tourism. It's something Paul Kagame realized at the very beginning of his presidency. There's $1 billion that was coming in from the World Bank, which was meant for schools and that. But Paul Kagame had an idea. It's either we just take this money, all these things are on record, so that we take this money and we use it according to the way these people want us to use it. And the way they want us to use is based on the assumption that we are not good enough. So Kagame took that money, and I've said that in one of my videos, and they started investing in the future of his nation. A future where they don't have to rely on aid, because he doesn't believe in it. And he's on record of saying this. He's even said, aid is political. The markets don't lie. The markets is where we should go. This is why when I heard that Rwanda, Uganda, and Tanzania are trying to open up a stock exchange market, I knew it. I won't be surprised if actually Kagame that has managed to put all this together, because he believes in markets. You know, Africans, we should be able to buy markets. If you want to start a company, you should be able to put it on the market, and Africans invest in it, and that company grows, and Africans benefit from it, instead of us relying on aid. And what he did, he would take this money. First of all, he went to the private sector and asked if they could be building hotels for him. Because Rwanda is not a lucrative place, everyone was starting to start dragging his feet. So he thought, you know what, I need to work on tourism. I want to make Rwanda a destination that people can think of in Europe, in the US, anywhere. So they can come here, and guess what? They come in, they're bringing foreign exchange. Okay? And he'll take this money and start building hotels, and start cleaning up and building things. And the World Bank actually sent people to go and ask what was happening there. And the Minister of Finance was so scared he almost quit. When he talked to Kagame told him, like, you stay as minister. When they come to ask about what's happening to the money, send them to me. No fear. The only African president, or one of the few African presidents that can stand up to anyone and look them in their eyes and tell them what they think of them. Paul Kagame, my president. That's the sort of president I believe Africa should have. If we had 10 of presidents like Kagame, dude, it would be a different story in Africa right now. Okay? Before Kagame, Rwanda was only making about between $50 and $100 million from tourism. Today, they are making over almost $1 billion from tourism. I know Ghana made a lot of money because of the year of return, which was brilliant. And I believe Ghana hasn't sold itself, because a lot of African Americans associate with themselves with Ghana and Nigeria. You know, and Ghana hasn't been able to tap into that. They've managed to wake up, and they tapped into it, and it paid off. Huge dividends. 2019, Ghanaian cedis was the best performing currency against the US dollar all over the world. You know, I like what Nana Acquah is doing, and we shouldn't be comparing, but there's a lot of things that our countries, not just around Africa, can learn from Rwanda, right? He banned bottles. In most countries, they'll be thinking about the consequences of that. He's banned bottles, and Rwanda is still doing fine. You know, the security in Rwanda. You know, I was there, man. I slept with the door. The cleaner of the place where I was staying, she told me, like, you can leave the door open and no one is going to steal. I wanted to try it. I left the door open. You know, I even put a fake phone on my bed just to attempt to see what happens. Everything was there, intact, perfect. That is an achievement of. You don't know the effect of that. I don't think I can do anything like that in any other country in Africa. Because what Kagame has done is bring out the true African in us. There's a thing they do and this is what I say, being clean. Jermaine Nkrumah was calling it the glitter just for the foreigners. No. The foreigners are bringing in money. You know, it's tourism. Tourism makes money. Ghana made $1.something billion, almost $2 billion, just from the year of return. That's money. You know, and we have to do it. People, even London, you know, makes a lot of money from tourism. That's why they keep their place clean, because I don't want to go to a place that's just dirt and I don't want to go to a place like that. I don't want to go to a place where I don't feel safe. I want to go to a place where I feel safe. And Rwanda is that place. You know, security cameras, you know, everywhere on the street. If you are in trouble, you press a camera, the police will be there within 5 minutes. You know, security, impeccable. You know, the cars in Rwanda on the road, You've been in Rwanda, you think you are somewhere in Europe or America. Organized. Now, if everyone has ever done physics, there's something about energy where they say, you know what? Disorganized is the easiest way, is the easiest sort of thing you can achieve when it comes to energy. And every time we try to organize, it runs into disorganized. Because disorganized is easy. Or being disorganized is very easy. Achieving organization is not easy. Kagame has been able to do that. You know, so you can say the glitter, no, the glitter, it's not the glitter, it's how it should be. And like I said, Rwanda is not a rich country. But what the government and what the president has done is encourage people, make them believe in something other than just themselves. And they do something called umuganda. I think it's twice a month or once a month. And that initiative in itself has managed to save the government billions of dollars. Because the people of Rwanda get up and they go and clean and clear the drainage systems. Because at the end of the day, it's you. You are preventing diseases such as cholera, which countries like Congo still have, dysentery, and all these other diseases. You, because you live in that place. It's something we've forgotten because of this so-called demon crazy, okay, or democracy. Because now we've given that as the government's job. The houses are clean in most African countries. You go to the house, very clean. When you go outside the road, it's gujum. It's mangoes, it's all this dirt. Because people don't feel the need to clean it, because now it's become, it's the government. It's the government. And we want to sit down and blame the government. Rwanda doesn't do that. Rwanda has gone back to the way we used to do things, where the whole community rises to do something for the betterment of the community. That is Kagame. Okay? And if countries around Africa should learn, I'm sure some of them are even learning. I think Tanzania is about to ban plastics as well, if they already haven't. Because it's just they're more mess. Plastics, we don't need plastics in Africa, to be honest. That is Kagame. So security, very vital in Africa. Very vital. He's managed to achieve that. Cleanliness, vital. He's managed to achieve that. The country growing, he's managed to achieve that. The country's the biggest export is coffee. I don't think there's anything else. They have a bit of maybe diamonds here and there, and maybe coltan here and there. And then people talk about, oh, he does this thing in the Congo. You're only complaining about Kagame. You're not complaining about people who are even taking the biggest stake out of Congo. And also the Congolese themselves need to blame themselves, because we know now what happens there. I had a friend of mine who, the husband, a friend of ours, me and my wife, the husband works in the Congo. And he tells me, and this guy, they're making money. This guy's got all the MGMs and of nice house, big house. He prefers to work in Africa. Because when he does, and he's not like a miner, he's like an accountant, like an investigative accounting or something like that, But he makes a lot of money every time in Africa, and he loves to work in the Congo, And even him says that sometimes it's ridiculous. You guys are so corrupt. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm not corrupt. He's like, no, I don't mean you, but just because sometimes we want to pay $30 million in taxes, right? All we need to do is just call up one of the ministers, and we say we're going to pay. We can easily, sometimes not even us. They will call us. Some of these ministers. These are ministers in Congo. This is not Kagame. Okay, they will call up to say, you know what? I hear you have a $30 million tax bill. Give me $3 million and you can go. Now, as a company whose focus is profit, if someone tells you, just pay me $3 million instead of paying them $30 million, what are you gonna do? Forget about, oh, you gotta be honest and all that crap. Nah, stuff that. In the Congo, it's the Wild Wild West. Okay? So if someone comes up to me, I'm a businessman, and they say, give me $3 million instead of $30, I'm paying them $3 million. I'm taking $27 million. I'm getting out of it. Okay? And that is because of the Congolese politicians. All right? That has nothing to do with Kagame. And also, because the governments in Congo have been so incompetent, I don't understand why a country that rich is not going anywhere. There's no improvement whatsoever. Forget about this thing we like to say, oh, they show that. No. Congo should be a superpower. Congo should have the universities that we should, all in Africa, we should be heading there to go and study. All right? Congo should be better than Saudi Arabia. They should be having companies now that are competing with Apple. But they don't. They don't. Why is that? Because the governments don't prioritize things. The president right now is going around the world trying to ask for global village, asking Apple and Tesla. Dude, Apple, Tesla, they don't care. You are on the soil. You can start bit by bit. You know where the diamonds are. You know where the gold is. You know where these things are. Put a block. You know, you can control, you can do a better job controlling on the ground. Start educating people, give them free education. Give people a dream they can believe in. That's what's missing in African presidents, is to give people a dream they can believe in. This is what Kagame has been able to do. Give people a dream. I can clearly understand why Fred Swanika, the owner of African leadership universities, is built 2 universities in Rwanda. You know, Carnegie Mellon, they've just opened the university there. You know, people from Tanzania, Kenya, they are going to invest in Rwanda because the education is of high quality. And Rwanda has made this. There's tech hubs sponsored by the government. Some of the top coming up tech kids. When you look at Forbes, Africa magazine, they're from Rwanda. You know, when you look at, they're making phones in Rwanda. The company is owned by some Indian African dude. That's a story for another day. However, when you look at the company, everyone there is Rwandese, and that's the difference compared to other countries in Rwanda. You look at when they're building roads, there could be maybe a contract given to a Chinese, I don't know, but you realize that a lot of people that would be involved from the project manager to whatever, they'll be Rwandese. You know, that's different. Like if you look at Ghana, I've looked at Nana Bediako's buildings. Most of the time he's using Europeans. And I understand what he's trying to achieve, but I'm just trying to tell you, yeah, he maybe can't even find the quality he's looking for in Ghana. Maybe that's why he's using Europeans. I don't know, but he is. You know, whereas in Rwanda you realize every step you find there's more Rwandese involved in things, and that's Kagame's initiative. Corruption, you know, is gone back to the way we used to do things. They have a meeting where the president sit down with his people live on TV for everyone to see, and they start scrutinize each and every minister. They'll ask a minister, so if let's say if you are in Ghana, you are a minister of Takra Day, okay, we gave you $10 billion to build a bridge. Has the bridge been built? You know, this is live on TV. If the minister says the bridge has been built, but the people say, no, we haven't seen the bridge, that minister is in trouble. He's getting sent to jail. It's discipline. In Africa, sometimes we've misunderstood discipline and dictatorship. We don't like discipline. We've accepted that we are not going to be disciplined. We want chaos. We want disorganization. The moment someone is organized, then he's too much. He's too much. He's too much. The moment everyone is trying to teach you good work ethic, then it's too much, because you want to be relaxing, because we've accepted that we are nothing. Okay? Kagame has changed that. Single-handedly has put that country on top as an African destination. The country that shouldn't even be competing. You know, country is so poor. But it's now, everyone is starting to know about Rwanda. You know, when he gave Arsenal $30 million, everyone got into their feelings. His people are suffering. Now, that $30 million has already brought in $300 million. You know, you have to think about these things. He could have accepted to go, no, we're going to sit down and beg. No, he's not trying to do that. He's trying to get away from relying on aid. He wants an independent, sovereign Rwanda looking after itself. Everywhere you go in Rwanda, even shanty compounds in Rwanda are clean. You know, the buses, get on transport. Dude, you feel like you won't see any difference if you're in the UK or whatever. You know, they give you a card, it's power, you get in. No one is stealing money from you. No one is charging you extra. Nothing. Kagame has been able to do that. Ghana can do the same thing. Easy, but it's not the priority of most African leaders. Right now, Ghana can actually say they are offering free education. Big up to Akufo-Addo. You know, great initiative. Free education. One district, one factory. Great initiative. You know, right now, Akufo-Addo can easily say, let's clean up our streets. And he can tell the students that he was offering free education to say, you're going to get free education. But every month, why don't you young ones get out there and clean up the streets and get organized? Each district, we're going to clean up these streets. You can do it. And these kids will participate. And guess what? The adults will follow. as these kids start participating into it, and you tell them the reason why they have to do it. But that is not the priority. Okay? So all the people that like to say Kagame this, or Kagame is causing conflicts in the Congo, I doubt Kagame is causing, even if he was. That's because Congo is too porous. You know, you've let that happen. You know, in my opinion, because people are raping other countries that are benefiting from Congo than Africans. You know, if anything, if Congo cannot progress, maybe it's too big. Maybe it's better we split it and add it to other countries and just leave it as a small place. You know, and if you don't have direction, if you can't put your people to believe in such a rich country, there's something wrong with the people. There's something wrong with the government. And like I just tell you, that's what they do. You know, they are corrupt, just like most African leaders, you know. So if Kagame sees an opportunity to say, you know what, these guys are stupid, they're not going anywhere. Why don't we, because we're trying to do something here, and there's a lot of Congolese that are seeking refugee in Rwanda, oh, maybe we should get the quota. I don't blame him. I'll do the same freaking thing. I'm African, and I'm giving money back to Africans. You know, it's better him than some Western country that you guys don't even complain about. You don't even have the guts to complain about. You know, maybe the country is too big. Okay? We gotta start thinking about these things, because we'll be here, oh, Kagame is doing this in the Congo. Well, the UN, Kagame doesn't run the UN, someone else does, is doing the same thing. You know, tons and tons and tons of gold, copper, emeralds, all these things are living in Congo. UN saying nothing, and it's not Kagame who's doing it. You know, let's sort of give, let's praise presidents when they do the right things. Okay? You look up the videos of Kagame and listen to what he says. There are very few African presidents that says things that he says. Some of these African presidents, you listen to their speeches, they don't even know what they're talking about. I can understand why people walk away at the UN. You look it up. And it's not just me saying it. Africans giving speeches at the UN general meeting, most the seats are empty. Because some of it is ridiculous. I don't want to hear it. You know, there's no substance in what they say, because they're busy waiting for aid. You know, it's bloody ridiculous. Okay? So I don't think Ghana is doing better than Rwanda. I reckon Rwanda, considering it's such a small country, is doing a lot better than most countries in Africa. And also she talked about South Africa not doing as great. South Africa, it's sad that you were actually in South Africa and you didn't see the situation in South Africa. You know, Mary Acquah, I think your assessment of South Africa is a bit unfair. You know, there's something I know about South Africa. Jacob Zuma was a terrible president. Most South Africans will even agree. He was bad. Okay? But like I said, even America, out of the 45 presidents, there's only been about 10 presidents that has made America what it is today. Okay? But you have to realize at the same time, South Africa just came out of apartheid. And in that apartheid, the black people were so down there. It was bad. It was really, really bad. And also the fabric of the fabric of the culture among black people has been so destroyed during that. So there's so many things you have to build. And also, politically, South Africa is not apartheid, right? But you go to church in South Africa, there's black churches, there's white churches, just like in America. So apartheid is still there among the people, because there are just some people who don't want to come together. Okay? So basically, the government of South Africa is starting from scratch, because everything in South Africa was designed for the 10%. You know, everyone knows if $10 was spent on a white kid, $5 was spent on an Indian kid, 50 cents was spent on a black kid. You know, for almost 100 years or over 100 years. So for you to try to bring that up and make it level, it's not an easy job. All right? And they're going to make mistakes, but there's no other country where they can follow, oh, this is what we're going to do. And no, they're learning. It's just like Thomas Edison when he came up with the filament for the bulb. He had to do about 1,000 experiments that failed. It's the same thing with South Africa. They're learning, but they're getting better. A lot of things they have to create. That's why when you look at Santon, They had to create it. Because black people couldn't go to some of these white areas without being harassed or without feeling out of place. So they have to create an area where black people can go and have fun and enjoy themselves. And live and just enjoy the environment. Okay? And they're doing that. There's more black people now. Even when you go to Soweto, there's now mansions coming up where some people just don't want to live. They want to live there with their people. They love it. You know. I know security is one thing maybe South Africa can improve on. Also, I believe when we look at this so-called xenophobia, we only look at South Africans attacking foreigners, right? And we make up our own judgment. Oh, South Africans, you know, the countries helped you and blah, 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 blah. But what we don't look is, why is there xenophobia? Some of these people from Africa, especially from certain parts of Africa, have also got bad behavior in South Africa. I had one man who went to South Africa. I'm not going to mention countries, but it was from an African country. Went to South Africa, married a South African woman. They even had 2 kids. And then when the South African woman went to visit him in his country, he's organized with his fellow people to have her murdered and then put drugs in a body and then ship it in a coffin to South Africa. Imagine murdering the mother of your children just so you can make money. Yeah, him and his family concocted this whole thing together. They murdered this woman and fill up her stomach with drugs and put her in a coffin and say, oh, your children, your daughter has died, we're coming for a funeral. It was until I think they made a mistake. I think maybe they took too long to empty when you go to South Africa, until they got the funeral parlor found there's a string sticking out and tries to pull it and the thing falls out. You know. So I can understand why some of these white people are angry. Because if you're not going there to make a place better, you know, this is what I say. Like, I can understand people living and trying to go for a better society. But I believe, because South Africa is one of those people that you don't know, the world is watching us. The world is watching South Africa. If they fail, then they're going to blame the whole Africans. Oh, the whole Africa. It's like, you see, this is why we say Africans can't do anything. Okay? So I think, look up, there's so many jobs that you can do in South Africa. You can be a doctor, you can be this, there's so many, look that up if you're in Africa. And maybe in the country where you are trying to study and then go to South Africa with some sort of qualification. You know, because I'm honestly saying this. Some people from Africa who go to South Africa, they're turning that person into a ghetto. I'm just going to be real. I don't even care what people say. It's the truth. You know, because every time xenophobia happens, everyone rushes. I don't support xenophobia, but then you gotta find the root cause without beating about the bush. Just be honest. Let's go straight to the point. You know, let's go straight to the point and just be real about it. Okay? I know there's crime in South Africa, and most of it is not foreigners, but there's also some of it that is being brought into South Africa and it's not good things. Okay? So if you're gonna, sometimes you have to stand up for that. And sometimes people don't know how to react to those things. And also there's some groups that are trying to take advantage of it. Okay? There's some groups who are not even Africans who are trying to take advantage of that, just to portray Africans as these bad savages and stuff like that. And we have to be aware of it. But there's a problem with some of the foreign people in Africa, in going to South Africa. Okay? Some of the Africans going into South Africa. And we have to look into that. We have to look into the whole situation. The problem in Africa is that we don't like to talk about the truth, because everyone gets into their feelings. That's why I believe people don't like Acquah, because sometimes she talks about the truth. She just tells us that it is, you know. So here is a recap. South Africa is doing better, a lot better, right? They can do better. There's room for improvement. Yes, there is. But in South Africa, they got free education. I think even university in South Africa is free. The only country that could actually look after its people, even during COVID, I think they have a reserve of about $20 billion. No other country in Africa has that kind of money. Only South Africa. Okay? So, they're doing well. They're going to make mistakes. But believe me, if we all look at South Africa and trying to help them, by going to South Africa with a degree or some sort of something you're going to go there and do. Because look at this. Americans go there to South Africa and open up shops. You know, most of African Americans don't even think of going to South Africa. They should. You should be thinking of going to South Africa and open up shops there, and start doing business. Okay? It's one place in Africa where if you get it right, you will make a lot of money. Okay, because I know people say Nigeria, but I believe South Africa is the bigger economy, is the biggest economy in Africa. So just a recap, let us not compare these countries. Let's learn from each other. There's something South Africa can learn from Ghana, that the one district, one factory. If anything, a lot of countries can learn from Ghana. There's something a lot of countries can learn from Rwanda about cleanliness. It's an African phenomenon. We used to be clean. We had 1448. And I'll do a thing about this. I'll do a video when I start the Nubian Chronicles. I think my subscribers came up with that name. I'll do a story about inside Benin City, where I'm gonna say how the lives were in Benin. They had lamps at night, street lights. They were using palm oil to light up the streets, especially the streets that went to the king. The king's palace was big as Lisbon. Lisbon is the capital city of Portugal, for those that don't know. The king's palace was bigger than Lisbon, not even as big as, was bigger than Lisbon. Okay? The security was so great, people slept with doors open. No stealing, no thievery, none of that. Okay? So cleanliness is an African thing, and we need to bring it back. Working together is an African thing, and we need to bring it back. Okay? There's a lot of things that Kagame has done right, and let's not wait until he dies to realize what he's done. Let's do it right now and give him credit for what he's done. Watch Kagame's videos, and I guarantee you agree with me, because there's no way someone is going to say something that they're not thinking about. Okay? Kagame says things, and you can see the things happening right now in his country. All right? Education system improved. Kids, if you go to Rwanda, everyone looks super clean. No, it's not just the environment. Even the people look super clean. The hair nicely done, everything clean. Security, you have nothing to worry about. And it's not just in Kigali, all over. Even shanty compounds look clean. The economy growing at 12%. They are already building their own. They are even making morphine. They are not importing morphine like most African countries. They are building it. Rwandese, they are producing it. Rwanda is doing it. He wants to turn that country into the Singapore of Africa. And I say amen to that. And he's on the right path. In Africa, this man might turn out to be the greatest nation builder in Africa. Number one in Africa. He might be number 2 in the world. And the only one who might be bigger than him is Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. Let's give this man support. Let's not go into this bickering about, because even the guy from Hotel Rwanda, the thing is, he's guilty. He just admitted that he's been sponsoring these people, militias. But people wanted to blame Kagame. Security in Rwanda is really they've put that as number 1, and they're gonna hunt anyone who's trying to flip things around. In Ghana, there's a group called ANAS or something like that. One of their members got shot for exposing corruption in football. Have they found the people that shot him? I'm yet to hear. If they've caught the guys, please. And he was shot. This is in Ghana. He was shot point blank. One in the chest, one in the neck, one bullet in the chest. This is not in America, in Ghana. So let's not compare this stuff and others. I disagree. I believe Ghana is doing amazing. I believe Rwanda is doing amazing. I believe South Africa is doing amazing. But all these countries, Tanzania is doing great. There's things that they can learn from each other. All right? Let's not focus so much on criticizing and comparing and doing all this. At the end of the day, we want all Africa to develop. And that's my goal. And this is why I call myself a Pan-Africanist. I feel at home anywhere in Africa. I'm at home in Mauritania. I don't care. In Benin. I ain't chilling. I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Everywhere I go, I feel at home. Uganda, oof, bring it on, man. Kampala, here I come. I'm chilling. Dar es Salaam, Arusha, Tanzania, I'm chilling. Life is good. So let's support each other and create and bring and make Africa great again. Thank you. Please like this video and please subscribe. Goodbye.